Hey guys, and welcome back to the Metric Fastener Standards comparison vlog series, episode 9. I know it's been a few weeks since I've come and done one of these episodes. Things have been real busy, with the Thanksgiving holiday and getting back from that, and my wife and I moving into our first home together and all. So very exciting times, but. So I had to prioritize a little bit, but I am back. I'm gonna try to get one in this week, maybe one next week, and then maybe take a couple weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and then come back fresh in 2020. And you might notice that I'm back onto the different camera angle over here today. Using the laptop again. We're working on trying to work out some of the bugs with the whole microphone and all that, so that way we can make these nice and quality for you guys. Well, what I want to talk about today is these Hex Flange bolts. There's a lot of confusion out there around them. There's a lot of need for them, to be honest, and we're finding them harder and harder to find. And so some people are probably going to ask, well, why? And another question is, why are you just kind of randomly hitting this today? Well, I was inspired because of a mistake that I made. As a lot of good inventors and everything, they make a mistake, and then that inspires them to come up with something. Well, in this case, your ISO teacher guy here, authority here, he did make a mistake. I did make a mistake. Okay, and what happened is I was sick a few weeks back. I had the flu. I was trying to come into work and still get the job done, which that was probably mistake number one, but not the mistake I'm talking about. A customer sent me an RFQ. They're looking for a DIN 6921, and so I'm looking for it. We can't find this thing anywhere. It's a super odd size. And I get one answer back from a vendor, and they quote me ISO 4162. All right. Well, I know we haven't hit socket heads yet, and we're going to. I'm going to plan on doing a whole socket series in early 2020, first quarter of 2020. But a little, hint to that is that DIN 912 and ISO 4762 are the same. And I guess in my flu sick in mind that, I just kind of got it a little mixed up, and I was thinking, oh yeah, it's the same thing. And so I quoted them, and it turned out not to be. Now, fortunately, we caught it before it became, an issue, before it was actually ordered, and, so nobody lost money on it, but it's never a good look to misquote, which is part of the reason we do this series, right? To make sure that you're not misquoting, and to make sure that I'm not misquoting, right? Nobody wants to misquote. We want to make sure we get it right the first time. And so let's learn from my mistakes so that you guys don't make the same, all right? And so, all right, so what exactly are the differences between DIN 6921 and 4162, and how does EN 1665 compare to this? You might notice that in the title. Well, let's get nerdy, all right? First of all, all three of these are hex flange bolts, okay? And, a DIN 6921, that's a hex bolt with flange. And it comes in two varieties. They're serrated and non-serrated, all right? And that's actually pitfall number one. One thing I highly recommend to you guys as you are looking to source DIN 6921 products is that you specify on your RFQs and especially on your purchase orders that you are looking for either serrated or non-serrated, okay? Because it is I've seen it happen many, many times where, they were quoted one thing, they wanted another, but it was never specified on the RFQ or the purchase order or anything like that. And so, they ended up getting stuck with something that they ended up not being able to use, like serrated when they needed non-serrated or vice versa, right? Even though, maybe the offer said that it was serrated. So that will save you some time and some money is by, specifying whether or not you want serrated or non-serrated on those DIN 6921s, okay? And then the second trap not to fall for is to think that 4162, ISO 4162 or EN 1665 is the same thing as DIN 6921. It is not. Okay, in order of kind of like size, it's going to be ISO 4162 is going to be the smallest. That's considered the small series hex flange bolt, as opposed to DIN 6921. That's kind of the middle one. All right, and then EN 1665. Okay, and like a lot of the DIN standards that I've discussed in this series, the DIN 6921 standard has actually been withdrawn and was replaced by EN 1665, which that's actually a part of the reason that DIN 6921 is becoming harder and harder to find. That more of the more stocking distributors are only stocking the just the most used sizes, and so some of these little bit more odd sizes are becoming more and more rare. Okay, and it's harder to find even sources in Europe that are stocking the DIN 6921 as they transition to that EN 1665. That being said, the EN 1665 is technically considered that heavy hex flange series because it is a little bit bigger. The head's a bit bigger than the DIN 6921. Right, and so let's dig into a little bit more of the details there. So other than other changes between DIN and EN are that the 12.9 is no longer a standard material. So for the ISO 4162 and the EN 1665, it's going to be even harder to find those in 12.9. If you need it in 12.9, it's probably going to have to be cold-headed, but not necessarily. Furthermore, the sizes have changed at certain sizes, right? That at the M10, 12, 14, 16, and 20, the width across the flats is going to be significantly different, okay? Whereas the flange diameter itself is not different between DIN 6921 and EN 1665. Now, the flange diameter is different with the ISO 4162, okay? ISO 4162 actually has a smaller flange diameter, all right? And so both ISO 4162 and EN 1665 are going to have a taller head height. So even the small series is going to have a little bit taller head height than it did in 6921, right? So just to simplify, you've got for the same diameter bolt, EN 1665 is going to have the largest head dimensions. DIN 6921 is going to be in the middle, and then ISO 4162 is going to have the smallest head dimensions, with the exception of that head height. ISO 4162 is actually going to have a slightly taller head height, right? And like I said, you know, they no longer recognize 12.9, and they also no longer recognize fine thread. That both of them you are probably going to have to be stripped of thread if you need a fine thread and rethreaded. And you know, we do have options for being able to make those kinds of things happen, right? So that's it for today. You know, we specialize in those hard to find metric fasteners, which gives us a decent pulse on what people are struggling to find. And I can say that those DIN 6921s is becoming more and more difficult. I very rarely have to no quote an item. You know, I try my best to make sure that, you know, here at Eurolink that we are the hard to find people, right? So that we're not going to no quote things. But those less common sizes of DIN 6921, I mean, sometimes like if people don't need a very good quantity, it's incredibly difficult to find a good solution for that. Or they'll end up, you know, being 10 to 20 times what you might have paid for them a few years ago. So expect that costs on DIN 6921 are probably going to go up, especially on those odd sizes. And that's about it. So that said, you know, we do have some great manufacturing partners in Europe who are very high quality and can give them some really awesome lead times. And so if you are looking for something, you know, those could be an option for us, especially if, you know, no one else is stocking them anywhere in the world. And so, you know, the takeaway from today's lesson is that EN 1665, DIN 6921, and ISO 4162, that they are not equivalents, and that EN 1665 has that larger head dimension, and that ISO is going to have smaller head dimensions, and that both of them emitted 12.9 still and fine thread pitch, right? So that's it for today. As always, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to give us a call at 864-801-0505 or send me an email at london@eurolinkfss.com. Also, be sure to check out the website if you want to check out some of the other vlog videos or if you would like to download the today's lesson plan. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.